Okay, good morning, Facebook family. Okay, so I want to talk about my day yesterday. And the reason why I put it in parentheses is because it is going to cover a whole ground, a whole terrain, a whole grid of life. But I want to talk about yesterday. Yesterday, anybody who know me knows what I do and what type of work I do, what my profession is, and and what I'm trying to do to carve another path for myself for the second chapter of my life, the next chapter. I'm not going to relegate it to any particular number, but the next chapter of my life, because depending on how you look at it, like I've had several chapters, and in some areas of my life, I've written several volumes, okay? And then in some areas, I got little books just laying all around the damn place. But I want to talk about this because yesterday was a emotionally charged day. And then when I say emotionally charged, I don't just mean in the negative. I mean, like, from a perspectives view, I prevailed. I was a conqueror yesterday. In some instances, that's why I always pay attention to how I'm doing. I'm learning to pay attention to how I'm doing as opposed to what I'm doing and how I'm feeling. And what I'm feeling. There's so many different pockets. And I understand why people don't, I understand why people do not. Hey, Sean, I understand why people don't look at certain stuff in their life. Because this is a lot of hard work to do. It's a lot of hard work to sit around and be vigilant enough to be paying attention to the different areas. But I want to touch on, and I'm going to give you a good example because I'm an example girl. Let me tell you what happened to me yesterday. At my work, what I do what I do it well. You let me tell it. Somebody else who's looking at it might think different, but I think I do a damn good job at what I do. But there are certain people who are in certain departments that we rely on them for certain things. And I want to, the one area that I struggle with is IT. The only thing I want to do is turn on a computer and it works. Well, certain applications at my job mandate that I change my password every so often. And because we've been on a staggered schedule, I have not been able, my password change time falls on the days that I am out. And anybody who works in their arena who experiences this, right? They know that those passwords will, if you don't change them in a certain allotted time, this is at my job, you get locked out. So I have to rely on IT to reset me and give me a generic password, which only lasts a certain amount of time and before you have to go through this again. Boom. Got it? Good. Just wanted to give you a little example. So this has happened to me, and it happens on a regular. So I am reaching out to IT on a regular. So I know that they have a regular conversation about me. I make them probably sick. But guess what? I am part of the reason why they are working. So now we get to this place, and I am reaching out to this person. There's a team. I figure that I will get a new IT person, but I did not. I continue to get the same IT person. I don't know if they have caseloads. Like in my profession, we have caseloads. We had caseloads. So I don't know if I'm on her IT caseload because I always get the luck of the draw and I get her. And what happens is this person has a reputation of not having the most pleasant demeanor. And I'm keeping it clean this morning because I can really say some raunchy stuff, but she doesn't have a pleasant demeanor. She has a reputation of not having a pleasant demeanor. Do I feel this way? Personally, absolutely not. Y'all caught that? Absolutely not. But she is not the most pleasant person to deal with. What has happened, because I've evolved to the person that I am, I understand people, I understand evolution, I understand the human existence, I understand how to be humane. So I understand all these things. So I understand she's in her all natural. So yesterday we get into a conversation. Well, it wasn't a conversation. It was one-sided. And she's saying some things to me. She's looking good. I know to her and herself, she's looking good out there like Jordan in 93. right? In the playoffs. She's looking good. And she's like saying these things to me. And now the egotistical part of Tisha, which was totally not present yesterday, thank God, right? She didn't get that person. She got a calm, cool, collected Tisha. And I allowed her to go on for 4 to 6 minutes. She went on telling me about my patterns, which she has experienced with regards to this. So everything that she was saying was true. I have a habit of la, 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 and la, 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 la. And at some point I intervened and I basically said, listen, we're not hearing each other and I don't want to listen anymore. Real short, real quick. And what that did for me, I want to talk about me. What that did for me was that helped me to see a side of me and grow to a place that I didn't even know was possible. And I'm going to tell you for 2 or 3 reasons. 1, I need my job, right? 1, I need my job. 2, there needs to be peace at my job, right? It's very important that I have a peaceful work environment and with no strife from my coworkers. Those things are important to me. That may not be the next person's value system. And I need for you to hold on to that because I'm about to slide over into that. Because I experienced when I was talking to somebody about this, what they would have done. So I need you to hold on to that phrase that I just said. I need peace. That I value that. So and the third thing is that listen, it's really at this age and stage, I don't have to win. Those 3 factors is why I don't really get rah-rah on my job. And I really don't want to. How about I really don't want to? So now we get to this place and I deal with that. She helps me reset the password. She said, tomorrow when you come in, right, we're going to do the next part. So I was grateful for this because on my end, I can't take too many hits emotionally. I can only stay in this infancy stage of where I'm at with my evolving process. I'm still in infancy stages. So I didn't want to have myself exposed to that type of abuse too long because I didn't know what I was going to do, but I handled myself well. So now we're at phase 2. I'm sitting outside my job. One of the people on here is my coworker. So she's probably like, why the hell are you here? Well, I'm here so that I could take care of the second phase because I had to do this in doses. The next thing is that I was on the phone yesterday and I'm about to go into a physical, one part of my existence is about to go into a physical major transformation. It's a fragile place for me. It's sensitive. And a lot of times I have to watch who I'm talking to because even though we're very close and we talk about other things, there are some things that you can't be privy to because of my sensitivities and how you respond or react. Does that make sense? Well, yesterday I was having another conversation shortly thereafter this other conversation, and the individual began to tell me about how and what they like to see and what they like to do and what they made it totally spun around. And I said, wow, I need to put these 2 situations together to look at, because I'm always looking at me. What is this? What can I get from this experience to make me a better person? What can I do to best get to the next place? Okay, so this person is saying these things and I'm sitting here and I took a minute to sit down after I got off work. And I said, you know what? It just didn't start here. People talking to you like, I'm going to say some curse words this morning. So if you got sensitive ears, please, you might want to log off because this is a situation. These are situations that emotionally charged me and they come from a place. They trigger from a place from childhood when people used to talk to me like shit, right? Right? I was never seen, right? I never felt valued, right? I never felt respected, right? And then to have these 2 experiences happen to me yesterday, it triggered something in me. But all the same, I feel like I executed very well yesterday. And so I'm sitting here and I'm listening to this person do this and I put these 2 together when I had a minute to sit. And I said, you know what? This is happening to you because this is an opportunity to work everything that you have, the tools that you've been marshaling up until this point. It's an opportunity to look at your tools and see which tools have been fashioned for this opportunity right here, right now. Right? So to the second conversation, I got a little sarcastic. I said some real smart flip shit and, just to back you up off me for a minute. Right? Just to back them up off me for a minute to give me a chance to breathe, because my knee-jerk reaction was to just go ballistic. So, and when I say it didn't just start here, right? Going back to a few seconds ago, I always was berated. I was bullied as a child and I was mistreated and mishandled, not just by my peers in school and the other venues of my life, but in my home, right? I was to be seen and not heard. And this is my story. So that's why I always tell people, know your story, get in touch with your story, get familiar with the intricacies of your story, because if you plan to excel or move forward or progress in life, you will need to know that information. What triggers you? Because what happened for me is that when I continue to not be familiar with the intricacies of my story, right, I tend to always end up at the scene of the crime. Right? Holding a dagger, blood dripping, and then, whoever the authorities is, which usually the inner critic in me is the authority, is standing there going, you did it again. And for that, right, I'm arrested and locked up in my own shame, in a prison of shame and guilt and remorse and regret. And I'm so tired of that. But I want to get back on. I want to get back over, and I never left the topic, but I'm get back over here. It didn't start there. These relationships that are forming around me. See, my new relationships are ones of respect, right? Right? Mutual admiration, right? Right? We love up on each other. These are my new relationships in the most recent years, because the Tisha that you're talking to or you're listening to right now is the one that's evolved to mature consciousness, right? Respect, empathy, sympathy, regard for others, right? A listening ear, right? Compassionate. That's who I've evolved to, but that wasn't who I was always. I was the one who was the doormat, right? I was the one who you could just trample all over. No more. Like, do I need to do something about this situation at work? It's nothing I can do about that. You know why? Because people can be petty as fuck, even in the workplace. So if I retaliate, right, or try to stand up and be the Norma Ray in the workplace, right, I will never get services again. Or it'll be so delayed that by the time my grandkids get out of school, they'll be still asking me, Grandma, are you still waiting for it to be reset on that password from that app, from that system, from that person who just stayed there in that job, did not even retire so that they can make your life miserable? I know how life does. That's the all natural of human existence. And I'm not mad at that. What I have to do is I have to continue to push forward so that I could be the best version of me for me. This ain't about nobody else. And then for my next place, my next scenario, right? This is for me. I have to deal with the content of my relationships that have been in my life for 20 and 30 years before I reached this state where I'm at right now, before I woke up. That's what them young kids say, before I got woke. I'm in mature consciousness right now. The person that I was a few years ago, I'm just not that same chick. You are going to feel the brunt of my wrath if you F with me. But I don't want to be like that. I want to deal with stuff with like grace under fire. These are my goals. So the people that have been it didn't just start there. The responses and the reactions to my life scenarios, and when I come to you and I talk to you as my friend, if you've been in my life 10, 20 years, it didn't just start there. It didn't just start because I became aware of it yesterday or last week. They've been doing it. People have been doing it, Tisha. How will you deal with that? So I'm asking you guys today, how will you deal with the things that have been in your life, all of your life, and they're not ready or they are not aware of the new you? Is there a new you? Or are you okay with being the same person? Right? So it didn't just start here. And I can't beat them up for them being naturally who they are. I've advanced. I've grown. I'm expanding. It's my responsibility to do something about the things that are becoming irritants in my life. Because let me tell you, make no mistake about it. I was twisted up like a pretzel yesterday when I got off. And then I wound up going on to the movies, and I went and saw, ironically, catch this, I went and I saw Godzilla versus King Kong. Who knew? Who knew I needed a monster movie for my life? And I was able to see the irony in that and the opposing forces and and the storyline was just so appropriate. Well, you know the story of Godzilla, but they put a little twist on it. So I feel so much better talking to you guys. So does anybody want to get on and talk about It Didn't Start Here? Renee! Renee, I'm going to call you later. This is some good stuff. When you're dealing with the content of your life, this is some good stuff. Like, it takes work. I'm not mad at these people. I don't want anybody to leave here saying Tisha was mad as fuck this morning on Facebook Live. No, I'm not mad. Right? I'm not mad. I want you in your natural. I don't want any fakes and phonies, because when I get the whole mess on the table, guess what? I know what I have to deal with. It may take me some time. You may, like I said in the past feed, you may blow my ass back. Life has a way of knocking you on your ass. Right? Life knocked me on my ass, and sometimes it blew me back, and I had to be laid out on my back for a minute. But when I got up, this is the template of my life. That's why I know I'm going to rally through this. This experience, these elongated situations where I should have been, because some people say, oh, if it was me, I would have did this. Well, you know what? When you get a chance to get there, then you could do exactly what you said you was going to do if it was you. But I'm telling you how when life blows me back, when life lays me on my back, and I have to get back up. It takes me a while to get back up because emotionally it hurts. Mentally it stings. Spiritually I get wounded. There are different facets of me. See, whereas you, whoever you are, you may be a quick responder, a first responder, or you may be that person that will grab up your gauntlet really quick, ready to do battle. I don't. I go and I have to heal, and I have to get my bearings, and I have to get up on my knees. Then I have to stand up on my feet. Then I grab my staff. And sometimes that takes a little bit longer than the person who just runs into battle. So is there anybody on here today that wants to talk about It Didn't Start Here? I'm here. Who's on here? Okay, it says Renee. Now I'm down to one. Okay, Renee is laughing. Jennifer, she can't. And I saw Sean a bit earlier, but good morning, Sean. So this is what I did this morning. I had another one in mind, but I changed my mind. I'll probably attack that another day. I'm not going to divulge the title like I usually do, because then people be like, well, is you going to do it or what? And then I don't do it. And then they be like, damn, it take you too long. But I'm here. It didn't start here. Stuff that usually you become aware of, it usually didn't start there. A habit. Right. Oh, thank you. The habits, anything that happens so naturally. Take a look at the Genesis. It started somewhere. It just didn't. Just when somebody disrespects you, it just didn't start there. If you take a good look back, an objective look back, it started somewhere. It started real subtle. It started real subtle. Like, there might be, they might have took your pen one day. Just to test the waters to see if you would say anything. And you ain't say nothing because it's what it is. It's a 10-cent pen. I can get another pen. Then they come through and they grab your white out. Nah, what the hell is that? They used to give me, I can get that from the cabinet right there at work. I ain't gonna sweat that. Then it gets bigger. Then it gets bigger. And then it gets bigger. Until one day they're at work and they're talking to you like shit. Why? Because it was allowed. And I'm not saying it in a bad way. It's just that you weren't aware that you were allowing something to happen that was going to turn into a mountain. I was getting ready to curse. So, that's where I'm at today. Bear in mind that I allowed this to get to this way, but I wasn't conscious. Now I'm conscious. Now I have a responsibility to nip it in the bud. Are we going to sit down and chop it up and talk about what you're doing to the new Tisha that is offensive, disrespectful? Or do I need to have the usher show you out the back entrance? Yes, because this thing is serious. It's like a religion, and I need an usher. Even in bad days, this is some good stuff. So does somebody want to come on? I got a few minutes. I'm resetting my password. I'm excited about that. Yeah, right. But that's where I'm at. It didn't start here. It didn't. You guys have a good day. You deserve it. You definitely deserve it. If you are pursuing it, hand sanitizer, protect yourselves. We are links in a chain. So, if you are being reckless and not thinking about the immunocompromised, whether you got a vaccination or not, we are links in a chain, and we are only as strong as our weakest link.